surface tension is a property of liquids, just like viscosity. Viscosity was about the resistance of the medium towards the motion of some external object, but surface tension is a force actually acting parallel to the surface of the liquid, trying to make the surface area minimum. So, to understand this property of liquids, usually two experiments are cited. So, we will briefly go through the experiments. So, to understand the meaning of surface tension, the symbol is S or T. Let us describe two experiments. So, first experiment is there is a wire frame, circular wire frame with a holder, and there are two iron nails having small holes. These are welded to the wire frame. So, it is circular wire frame, and a string, ordinary string, is introduced through this hole, and this is placed horizontally. So, this entire structure is placed horizontally like this. It is placed horizontally on soap solution. साबुन किंबा सर्फ फेण ता ऊपर रखा हो. This is placed like that. So, it is found that there is no change. There is no change in the shape of the strings. These are the two strings. Then what is done is, the middle part between the strings is pricked. फोड़ी देला मझे फोड़िकी सो फेण को फटे देला. सो दिस the soap solution lying between the string, two strings are say S1 and S2. Actually, there one string made to form a loop, closed path. So, here it is found that the shape of the strings becomes circular. Then the question is, why it is circular, why not rectangular or square, like that. So, the explanation is possible with the help of this type of tangential forces, surface tension forces, tangential forces. Then again the question is why the surface tension will act outward, not inward. That is also a question. So, these are the shape becomes circular because the tangential forces act perpendicularly to S1 and S2 so as to make the liquid surface becoming a minimum. You see, this circle has the maximum area compared to all the figures may be square, rectangle, one can calculate and show that circle has the maximum area. So, circle occupies maximum area. So, the rest part of the liquid has minimum area. So, this experiment indicates two things. One is there must be forces acting tangentially to the surface of the liquid and perpendicular to the lengths. The strings are S1, S2, they act perpendicular to the strings and but parallel to the liquid surface, so that the surface area of the liquid becomes minimum. This is one aspect of the experiment. Then second is floating of a needle, floating on a needle, say it is greased means slightly oily, oil is just put on the needle to some extent. So, floating of a needle placed horizontally on a liquid surface. On a liquid surface. So, to just do the experiment, it can be done also. A needle or say very thin say iron material or any copper material like that can be taken and placed on a filter paper. So, the filter paper is placed on the water say surface, taken in a beaker, and gradually the filter paper goes down, but the needle is found to float. Then the explanation of it, one thinks of Archimedes principle, but Archimedes principle cannot be used here, because you see needle is suppose iron, then the density is 7.8 and the water is having density 1 gram per cc. So, a body of density 7.8 and cannot float as such unless the shape is changed, but a grease needle is like that. So, that can be explained if we think that the liquid surface behaves like a stressed membrane. Stressed membrane means just like say rubber type of horizontal thing. So, the liquid, so this is the beaker, the liquid is like this, and this is the cross section of the needle. Cross section of the needle. So, just where the needle is placed, the stressed membrane gets depressed. So, liquid surface gets depressed at that place. As a result, what will happen? There will be surface tension forces acting tangentially at the point of contact. So, weight of the needle is mg, that is balanced by the component. This is say suppose phi, this is not angle of contact phi. So, this is T cos phi, and here in this diagram there are 2 T cos phi there, but in the needle is a linear one. So many points of contact. So, we can write it as sigma T cos phi. So, sigma T cos phi balances the weight of the needle, whereas this is horizontal, say T sin phi, that cancels this T sin phi. So, as a result, it is possible that the needle can float. So, this experiment, the explanation of this floating gives an idea that the liquid surface behaves like a stressed membrane. Liquid surface behaves like a stretched membrane. Like a stressed membrane. As a result, the needle gets depressed a little, and the forces of surface tension, which are usually horizontal parallel to the surface of the liquid, they act upwards, making an angle phi with the vertical. So, the resolved part of T, that is T cos phi, sigma T cos phi balances the weight of the needle. So, from these two experiments we can define surface tension. That surface tension is a force acting parallel to the surface of the liquid, trying to make the surface area into a minimum. So, definition of surface tension. It is a force that acts parallel to the surface of the liquid, trying to make the surface area of the liquid into a minimum. So, this is about the qualitative aspect, that what is surface tension, that it is a force that acts parallel to the surface of the liquid, trying to make the surface area into a minimum. That is about the nature of the surface tension. Then how to measure surface tension? So, to measure surface tension, an imaginary line be drawn on the surface of the liquid. Surface of the liquid. Say this is the liquid surface, you can draw a line at the edge also, and this is another surface, say line is drawn at the middle position. Say. So, what will happen? You see, surface tension force is parallel to the surface of the liquid and it is perpendicular to the length. So, many such things. We are showing some, but there are many also others. And here you will find these forces acting on both the sides, this side, that side, both the sides. So, effectively the imaginary line has length 2L, say, because as such one will see that if T and T will cancel, one will say T will cancel, that means no force is there on the string or the imaginary line, but that is not so. Just like suppose a body is dragged on both sides, suppose I am a body, my right hand is dragged by someone, left hand is dragged by someone. So, I experience twice of the forces, because suppose one way I am dragged, ghosalle, gotte. So, I will get a force F, but if I am dragged this way F, that way F, but I may be in equilibrium, but there is strain on my body, because both sides are dragged. So, I experience 2F. So, 2F force I experience. Therefore, here in this figure, F, if you say F is the total force, F divided by 2L is equal to surface tension. And here, if the total force of all these is F, it is dragged only one way. So, it is F by L is equal to surface tension. So, that is how an imaginary line will be drawn on the surface of the liquid. The force per unit length gives the value of surface tension. So, surface tension, you may say it S or T, that is F by 2L here and it is F by L here. So, with these definitions and elementary ideas, we proceed to find the that is an experiment also in +3 classes to measure surface tension by measuring the capillary rise in a narrow tube, that is called capillary tube. So, expression for height of a liquid column inside a capillary tube. Capillary tube means very narrow tube placed vertically with one end inside a container of liquids like water. Mercury experiment can be done also, but that is depressed. The level is depressed, and here we show the capillary tube as an enlarged tube, because if it is very narrow we cannot show the details of it. So, this is the shape of the meniscus, and here there is theta due to surface tension, and it is also theta. And if you say that the liquid is dragging the sides of the glass tube, say it is enlarged view of a capillary tube. We can say that this is action, this is a action, and to every action there is opposite and equal reaction. So, this is the reaction. So, this reaction force acts on the glass sides to raise the liquid. Here also this is T, so there will be again T. So, this is theta, and if you resolve it, it becomes T sin theta, and this side also T sin theta. They cancel out, acting on the same body, equal and opposite, they cancel out, but there is a force T cos theta acting vertically. This is also T cos theta. And how many such T cos theta will be there? Because there is a circle of contact. That means, suppose the radius of the tube is r, then the circle of contact as shown here is actually 2 pi r. So, it is 2 pi r, that is the length, and F by L is equal to T cos theta, you can see. So, the height above the liquid surface is h. The circle of contact is 2 pi r, and using the formula F by L is equal to T cos theta, comma, we have the upward force, upward force on the liquid is equal to 2 pi r, L is 2 pi r here, T cos theta. So, this is the upward force due to surface tension. And how much is the downward force? Downward force due to gravity is equal to pi r square h plus x times rho then g. So, what is x? We will see. You see, this is r, this is a part of the just upper part, and here a little assumption is needed, because the lower meniscus is different for different types of liquids, but we say that this is radius r of the capillary tube and that is equal to r. So, this part of the liquid gives rise to x. So, where x is equal to volume of extra liquid, lying above the lower meniscus. This is meniscus, lower meniscus, and assuming this r is equal to this r, we have this part is like a cylindrical one. So, pi r square into r, this is a volume of the cylinder minus hemisphere, volume of the hemisphere. So, it is 1 by 3 pi r cube, and rho is equal to density, of the liquid. So, inserting this value of x in equation 2, so you get equation 2 becomes pi r square h plus 1 by 3 pi r cube times rho g, and if you take common pi r square, it is h plus r by 3 then rho g. This is equation 3. So, this is the downward force, and for equilibrium this upward force must be equal to the downward force. So, we can write that for equilibrium means net force is 0, upward force must be equal to the downward force. So, for equilibrium, equations 1 and 3 be equated, 1 and 3 be equated. So, this is equal to pi r square, then h plus r by 3 rho g. So, here pi cancels and we get T is equal to r into h plus r by 3, then rho g by 2 cos theta. So, this is equation number 4. This is actually the correct equation, but we can, for all practical purposes, this radius of the capillary tube is very small and 1/3 of that is still smaller. So, compared to h, that is the height raised, it is negligible. So, if you neglecting r by 3 much less than h, comma, we have T is equal to r h rho g by 2 cos theta. This is equation 5. For liquids like mercury in contact with glass, theta is obtuse. So, when that is inserted, but T is positive. So, to make it that, H must be negative, that means the level goes down. For liquids like mercury, in contact with glass, theta is obtuse, that is nearly 135 degree. So, that H is negative. That means the level goes down, the level of liquid goes down for mercury. That is one explanation from equation 5. Then for liquids like water, what happens? For liquids like water, in contact with glass, comma, theta is nearly equal to 8 degree. That has been experimentally found. So, that cos theta tends to 1, like cos 0. So, T is r h rho g by 2. This is equation 6. So, from this we can find the height. Height is equal to 2T by r rho g. And in the actual experiment, many such capillary tubes are dipped into the beaker containing water, and heights h1, h2, h3 they are measured, and different values of surface tension are found. Within experimental error, there will be slight difference between the values of T, and one can take the average of those things, and the radius of the capillary tube is also measured with the help of travelling microscope. Here also the heights are measured by travelling microscope, which gives accurate results, and one can find the value of surface tension at room temperature. As you know, surface tension varies with temperature, just like viscosity, because with increase of temperature makes density lowered, because volume increases, with increase of temperature, volume increases, mass remaining same. So, density decreases. So, T, that is R H rho g by 2 decreases. So, empirical formula, one empirical formula for variation of surface tension with temperature is given by T theta. This T is not temperature, this is surface tension. T theta is equal to T0 into 1 minus alpha theta, where alpha is temperature coefficient of surface tension is equal to, suppose you want to find it, then it will be T0 minus T theta divided by T0 theta. That means delta T by T0 whole divided by theta. That means change in surface tension with regard to original surface tension at 0 degree centigrade per degree rise of temperature. That is the idea of temperature coefficient of surface tension, which differs from material to from liquid to liquid. Different liquids have different values of alpha. So, this is how we use the idea of surface tension to explain the rise of liquid inside the capillary tube, and we can measure surface tension with the help of these values of heights. Then another thing is, there is a relation between surface tension and surface energy. Surface energy. So, what is the meaning of that? So, let us think of a rectangular wire frame. This is a rectangular wire frame having a sliding wire. There is provision for a sliding wire. So, this is the sliding wire and the length is say L, inside length, and there is a liquid film. Film माने पतला shape रो गोटे liquid surface. In some books they consider two sides of the film. That for simplicity, let us consider only one side of the film, and this each point of the sliding wire is now dragged by the liquid, because the liquid always tries to make the surface area minimum. So, this entire length of the sliding wire is now dragged towards the liquid. So, the force with which a liquid, this is the liquid, force with which a liquid is dragged, force with which a liquid drags the sliding wire of length L is given by T is equal to F by L. So, implies F is equal to T L. So, this is the total force of all the surface tension forces acting on the sliding wire of length L. And if we will apply a force F, if we will apply a force F on the sliding wire, so as to increase the surface area of the liquid like this. So, the liquid is like, so imagine that liquid is like honey or say mobile, that type of thing, sticky liquid. So, that liquid is stretched by the external force. So, how much external force you will apply? So, external force F to be applied to increase the surface area, to increase the surface area of the liquid, to increase the surface area of the liquid is equal to L into delta x when the wire is dragged at constant speed. You see, when it is constant speed, then the acceleration on it is 0. We can in general write say f dash. So, f dash, there is f dash is equal to f, then only net force will be 0 and acceleration will be 0 and the speed is constant. So, if we drag it with constant speed, then these conditions are satisfied. So, how much work is done? Work done is delta W say is equal to force into displacement. So, force is TL, then delta x. Then what is L delta x? L delta x is this extra area created. So, T into delta M. That means, the amount of work done to stretch the liquid is equal to surface tension into extra area created. Suppose extra area is 1 unit, this is 1, then work done is equal to T. That means, surface tension is numerically equal to the work done. So, this is written as delta E, because this much of work done is stored in this portion of the liquid as energy. So, that is the surface energy stored. That means, it is just like a potential energy. So, surface energy is like a potential energy, the amount of work done is stored as surface energy. So, if delta A is equal to 1 square unit, comma, then delta W is equal to T. So, another definition of surface tension follows from this, that surface tension is equal to the amount of work done to create a surface of 1 unit. This is another definition of surface tension. Then we come to shape of a small liquid drop. It is experimentally seen that small drops of any liquid are spherical. Small drops of any liquid, just like say in winter you find small drops of water on grass or trees, leaves of trees, small drops, they are spherical. Mercury drops, if thermometer is broken, mercury will just roll. So, mercury drops are also spherical, whereas bigger drops of mercury are flattened. So, bigger drops of water are also flattened. Then the question is, why it is happening? Small drops are spherical, but bigger drops are not so. So, the explanation can be done with the help of surface tension. So, small drops are spherical, whereas bigger drops are flattened. The explanation. This explanation is done by assuming kinetic theory of gas applied to liquids. So, liquid molecules are not at rest. They move randomly which has been seen in Brownian motion. Brownian motion is a motion observed by Robert Brown, where there is a zigzag motion of small particles on a liquid. So, the zigzag motion of small particles is explained by bombardment of molecules on the small particle. So, that is known as Brownian motion. So, it is evident, that is experimentally established, that just like say kinetic theory of gas, the atoms or molecules, they are constantly in motion at random. Similarly, the liquids are also moving inside it. Due to collision with the walls or surface, pressure is generated, because force per area is pressure. So, pressure is generated, and the argument is how much is the pressure, because atmospheric pressure is say P0 and it must be greater than that, because if it is not so, then how the liquid is able to maintain its shape. Let this pressure be P0 plus delta P. So, this P0 is the atmospheric pressure, and this is called the excess pressure. Inside the drop. And in the NCERT book they write it as Pi minus P0. Pi means internal pressure, total internal pressure minus P0 is the excess pressure. So, this we can visualize with the help of a diagram. It is a small drop of liquid shown enlarged, and there is a, we can think that it is made out of two hemispheres. Just like cricket ball, you can see there are strips on it. So, this is a imaginary line, because in surface tension we know imaginary line, and this imaginary line is of length 2 pi r. So, this imaginary line will make surface tension forces. And the radius of this is say r. So, the force trying to minimize the surface area. That means, these forces they try to squeeze it to decrease the volume. The force trying to minimize the surface area of the drop, is equal to 2 pi r into T, and this is say prevented, that is not allowed to take place, because if that is allowed to take place, the small drops will be still smaller like that, and the density of the liquid will change, but that is not taking place. So, this force trying to minimize the surface area of the drop is equal to 2 pi r T, which is opposed by the excess pressure. Which is opposed by the excess pressure, producing outward force, delta P into pi r square. So, this delta P tries to enlarge, and this surface tension tries to decrease the surface area. So, at equilibrium these two must balance. So, 2 pi r into T is equal to delta P into pi r square, implies 2 T by r is equal to delta P. That means, excess pressure is 2 T by r. So, that implies delta P is proportional to 1 by r. And what is the implication? For r small, it will be bigger. So, excess pressure inside the liquid drop is more for smaller drops than for larger drops. So, that is why smaller drops can maintain their shape better than larger drops. So, proportional to 1 by r means delta P is greater inside small drops compared to bigger drops, because they have to balance the atmospheric pressure and also the effect of surface tension has to be balanced. So, this is the about the liquid drop, and this can be extended to a soap bubble. So, for soap bubble what happens? For a soap bubble, there are two surfaces. There are two surfaces. The thickness is very small. The internal radius R1 and external radius R2 are almost same, slightly R2 is greater than R1. So, here the force trying to minimize the surface area of the drop, here there will be, when you draw an imaginary line on the surface of the soap bubble, then the force will be 2 pi R1 t plus 2 pi R2 t, which is opposed by the excess pressure producing out of that is. So, here it is 4 pi R t is equal to delta p, which is 40 by R. Here we write, because R2 minus R1 tends to 0, external radius minus internal radius tends to 0, that is R2 is equal to R1 is equal to R say. So, in that case delta p is equal to 40 by R, and delta p is again proportional to 1 by R, means delta p is greater inside small drops compared to bigger drops. So, this is an experimental fact. One can, when you blow small soap bubbles, it is all right, but when you try to increase the size of the soap bubble, that bursts. That means it cannot maintain its shape and size. Due to atmospheric pressure, the soap bubble is burst. So, bigger soap bubbles are not possible, smaller ones are possible. So, that is one explanation for the this one, and also similarly it is extended like for cylindrical drops, they are like that. The surfaces are different. So, but this principle is same, that excess pressure must be there apart from atmospheric pressure to maintain the shape and size of the drops, and many problems are also possible. Say a bigger drop broken into smaller parts, what is the change in surface energy and those things.